Hello, my name is Jasmine Griffin, a second-year graduate student from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I'm just doing this video to discuss my first couple weeks of clinical practicum. And my clinical site that I have been placed at is Our Lady of Lake Hospital, and I'm working with the pediatric unit. So at first, before I had started, I always said that I wanted to do a medical placement because I always was interested in working with geriatric clients or just like the medical aspect of it, because I really wasn't that comfortable with working with kids because I never had worked with kids since we have been doing teletherapy or therapy in general since I have got into the graduate program. So at first I was nervous because I thought my caseload was going to be just adults because I was at a hospital, and I thought it was going to be focusing on like areas that I'm not that comfortable with or not that experienced yet. So I was like, I'm nervous because I'm going to be working with swallowing and probably like the medical side of it. But I knew that eventually I was going to catch on to it. So I wound up being placed at the pediatric unit, and the lady that's my supervisor, she's very nice, she's very patient. I like how she let me go at my own pace until I was ready to like start doing things on my own. And she asks any questions that I need or any questions that I have like I'm not really sure about. And if it is something that I could have done better, she waits to tell me until like, that Friday. Like on Fridays is when we have our like meeting and we discuss like my strengths, my weakness, what did she like about like things that I do and what areas that I should work on and what are we going to work on for the next week, so I could accomplish like, getting stronger at that. So at first I was kind of overwhelmed because I didn't have really any experience working with kids. Well, because I wasn't used to it. It's not like I didn't have an experience because we had a child client my first semester, but it was just a whole nother aspect. Like my mind wasn't at all on working with kids with autism, and I found myself being very close-minded with kids with autism because I thought it was just like, oh, with kids with autism, all the symptoms are the same. You could treat them the same. And that was not the case at all. Like working with kids with autism, I feel like if you have experience or you're getting experience of working with kids with autism, it helps you extremely a lot, like be a good clinician, because there's so many creative ways that you have to find to adjust the child and to reach the child, because you doing like a structured activity with them will not do it for some of them. Some of them cannot sit down just like a normal kid. Like a normal kid, it's hard to get them to participate and maintain their attention. So let alone a kid that's probably stimming or has lack of social skills or that's probably easily frustrated. And so I found myself having to be very creative and knowing that I really just underestimated myself and my abilities, because how I grasped to it so fast and how I'm thinking like, oh, well, this is one of my clients that he may not like sitting down or he may not like doing flashcards. So I need to do something different with him and fun and do play activities with him, but still make it to where we are measuring goals and we are able to accomplish and achieve goals or work on getting there without him knowing that we're actually doing goals. So I like working with kids with autism because they so unique, they so different, until it makes you be creative and it makes you not go by the book and just do black and white activities. I can say that my strengths would be, I've been very good at adapting to different clients. Every client is different. They might have good days, they might have bad days. Some days they might do the things that we've been working on, and some days they might come in and they might have temper tantrums, or it might not go as planned. And I do have the parents in the sessions with me sometimes and my supervisor, and sometimes I might not be doing the right thing or it's not going right, but I never fold under pressure or I never get overwhelmed. I just find next day, what am I going to do different? And I take time to research my clients and research activities that might work on my client and what needs that he needs to be met. So I would say that my level of adapting and my level of able to be able to change if it is time for me to change my activity, or if I see at the moment that that's not going to work, then I have X, Y, and Z to make sure that we have a good session. And I am very surprised at how taking some of the kids has been to me, especially because some of them, they're used to seeing my supervisor, but since I'm there now and it's like a new face, I thought it was going to take them a time to warm up to me. But she even comments that some of the students are more opening with her than they are to me, so that makes me feel very, very good. My weakness would be working with children with autism. You have some that's verbal and nonverbal, which I wasn't that familiar with. So now a lot of the caseload is nonverbal children. So it's more steps that you have to do because they can't verbally express themselves, which cause you to sometimes not understand them and them to become frustrated because they can't tell you what they want. They can't tell you their needs. And then sometimes what you want them to do, they don't want to do, but they don't have the words to get it out. So I've been working with doing sign language. Most of my population this semester has been like 2 to 3. I think my oldest is like 11. So we do like baby sign language, like, you know, basic needs, teaching them how to eat and more. And so that part I like because I never would have even looked into like baby sign language and see how important it is for not even a kid that's verbal or nonverbal, like a baby in general. I feel like they should begin like doing like basic necessities of sign language, because when they are babies, like they can't really tell you their needs right off the back. So it's easy to kind of teach them, you know, signs, the basic signs that they need. So that is something that I know I have to work on because I'm used to working with verbal people. And then babies, like I just, you know, I just get so like kind of not like upset, but just feel bad if I feel like I'm not able to like give them what they need. So I know sign language is something that me and my supervisor has discussed. Like that's something that I need to work on with the nonverbal ones to make sure that I try to expand it as much. Like don't try to make it so well like we just doing ball and more. And yes, like try to get them to be more specific with the basic necessities that they need. And we have been doing a lot of evaluations. Like on Mondays we do evaluations, and sometimes on Fridays. So it's been a lot of like protocols that I've been introduced to that I really wasn't that familiar with before. So I do like that I'm more exposed to them and I'm more able to like have access to them. And because sometimes I feel like the protocols can be kind of like confusing, you know, like what you having to get the basal and the ceiling. But I mean, I'd rather be familiar with it and get familiar with it now than wait until like later on. So that's just something I wish we was exposed to a little bit more in undergrad. I feel like we did the basic ones like Goldman Frisco, the Real, the SSI. But being that the classrooms was kind of big, we didn't really like get that much of detail or that much like one-on-one experience with the protocol. So that's something that I would want to do in the future to prepare me for when I get out in the school system setting or any setting where I have to do assessments and evaluations, which is what we do on a daily basis. So that would be my only take on it. And that is all. So far, I feel from when I started, from now, I feel like I have grown and my clinical skills is growing. How I'm able to think as a clinician is growing. My confidence is growing. And learning to just take the bad days and learn from them. And just getting used to, in one more semester, it will no longer be a student clinician. Like I will be a clinician. So it's finally setting in, and it's just reassuring me that I picked the right field and that I do have the knowledge and I do have the skills to excel in this field. That is all. Have a nice night.